I was already about 10 or 11 years old, and it's Wushtayin Danak. Wushtayin Danak. So that's easy. You can figure that out. It means facing each other. But why would they give me that name? Wushtayin Danak. They, my tribal house was built and they put two bears facing each other above the door. So they named me after that house. Two bears facing each other is what it means. But it doesn't say anything about bears. They're just standing facing each other. So the names, as we go along, we will be using the names a lot because you better start listening and also trying to remember each other's names. And this is kind of a large class, so uh, you won't be able to remember 25 names, but um, we can work on it and use it as much as we can. And I think we can start with Corey, um, your Tlingit name.
My Tlingit name is Skanki.
Skonki.
Skanki. And I have asked people before, and I do not know what my name means, and I have been interested.
Oh, yeah. You have
I
to,
know sometimes ki is the foot or the base of something, but I don't know what the first part might be.
uh, yeah, scone, that could be like a tool or some kind of, I thought I heard like women that has tools to work on skins, something like that. I don't know. I could look it up. So you can see uh, what we run into. So uh, it's always good if you have an elder that can tell you a little more. Say, it's your mother's name, and say, get a little more information than that. So it's really important um, to pay attention to the pronunciation and learn how to do it. So I want us to go back and uh, try to learn the Tlingit L, and we practiced it a little bit. And I want you to uh, do it without thinking eventually. Tlingit. So it's uh, it's a voiceless L. I hope you have taken notes because you can look back and I know that this is a recording and you can check back on it, but then you'd have to find where we in this recording where we were. So so it's the L is put the tip of your tongue behind your top teeth and let the air come out the sides of your tongue. So there's no sound, just air. Get, get, get. So please practice that and say, I am taking beginning Lingit. So you'll be very correct in doing that. The other letter that is really confusing is the W. The W appears a lot of times after a consonant, uh, such as K or X or T or whatever. Um, the I have don't usually use English examples, but in this case, I do try to point out that the English W serves the same purpose as uh, ours. So when you say when, I hope you're looking at my mouth. When, where, how, those kind of words. It has to do with pursing your lips around the word, the letter that you just said. So when we talk about our Tlingit name, Shaksanikik, Yuhatuasak. So Sak is SAAKW. Some people learn it by saying Sauk. So when you see my lips, Sak or Sauk, putting a W before the K, Sauk. It's the W comes after the K, Sa. And I've heard people say Saku. It's not a letter you pronounce. There's no pronunciation to it. It's what you do with your lips. Yeah. One of the students said, yeah, you have to kiss the letter. And that's what it is. Purse your lips. Sock. You have to a sock. So it's something that trips us up because we're thinking we see the letter and we need to say it. Sometimes it does, the W does appear not after a K, but in the middle of a word. But it still does the same thing. The one I'm thinking about is how, HAAW, how. That's an expression of surprise. You see somebody you hadn't seen in a long time, you can say, how. So keep that in mind in your notes and practice it when you're going to bed and when you're talking to yourself to say those. Make sure that you remember that the W is what you do with your lips. It's not a letter you say. So the Tlingit L also appears in the word that we use a lot is gunachish. Gunachish. That's one that trips up a lot of new speakers. So the word there is thank you, gunachish. So some of you were asking about what to say. I'll see you again. So let's work on that. It's I think one of the things that I want to point out to you is we don't have ST. We don't have that. There's no example of an ST. So I think there might be an SD, but most of the time it's after the letter T. So in this case, two is a TSU. Two. That means again. Two. So then the next word, and it's quite a long one if you want to write it down. It's IK, ick. Then there's another K right exactly after that with a W. So it's ick, qua. Take a look at my mouth, ick, qua. It's a W, W-A. Ick, qua. Sa, teen, sa, teen, Teen. Ik, qua, sateen, ik. I think the second K is underlined. Sorry, I
Yeah,
messed
way.
up. Yeah. So K, if you want to say ka to yourself, ka, move it to the back of your throat. Ka, 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 ka. So the first K is ik, qua, sateen. So the second K is underlined, ik, qua, sateen. So you're saying, again, I will see you. Translated the way we say it. The English language people say we speak backwards, but in reality, I think the English language is the only one that's backwards. And I mean that literally, I don't mean it as an insult. Um, uh, because we say, again, I will see you, where in English you say, I will see you again. So the I, the letter I, ik, it means yourself. You're talking about yourself. I will see you again. So ik, qua, sateen. To ye, ik, qua, sateen. There's a ye in between. Y-E-I, ye. There's a word like that in English, but this is different. To ye, ik, qua, sateen. To ye, ik, qua, sateen. To ye, ik, qua, sateen. So don't forget to move that K back to the back of your throat when you say the second K. And purse your lips around that K. Ik, qua, sateen. Ik, qua, sateen. Ik, qua, sateen. So,
Shuk, Sani, Kik.
yeah,
We have 15 minutes left.
okay. So study the letter L. I want to make sure that I hear it when you speak about the language and the people, uh, the way we refer to each other. And one example is my mother. A lot of times people ask me things, and how do you say this, or what does this mean? Or I have to, in my memory, go back to how my mother said things. We were in Seattle driving around, and we were on a reservation. And as we were driving along, an Indian man was walking down the street, and she looked out the window and said, "Ah, Lingit." So she didn't mean that he was Tlingit. She meant that he was, Tlingit means uh, a human being, a person. So people kind of get uptight about some of the times the things that we say, uh, what we call Tlingit Nagu, native medicine, not Tlingit medicine, but it could be translated that way. But when you say it that way, it applies to uh, medicine from other tribes too that can use it. So it's like saying it's native medicine. So it's really interesting and exciting to as we go along with the words that we study and work on. And the thing I want to work on more on Tuesday, we will go over names in the class and learn how to call each other by our names. Okay. Do we have any other announcements for the next class?
Check.
Just,
I
just,
don't have any announcements.
yeah. Well, if you have any questions about the websites we're talking about, that's really important and useful for you to refer to that and have that handy. And I think it's well prepared and thoughtful the way it's done. And the books that we will use in this class, the two books are Hune's beginning Lingit book. We use some of that, and also the Lingit Einachsa, Satan Tlingit book. It's a black and red book. And I think Alaska quit selling those, so if you don't have it already, I guess you can download it and have that handy. So we'll be using it a lot more as we go along. But in the beginning, this is an oral language that I'm telling you about. So I want you to be aware. And as we study, beginning the next class, we will zoom in on the vowels. There are 8 vowels. So, and I always tell my students that once you learn the vowels and you learn how to say it just naturally, you've got it. You can write and you can read the language. That's amazing. That's the amazing thing about the vowels is that it can help you too. Somebody says, "How do you say this?" You know, you look at it and say, start pronouncing the double A and double E, those letters like that, it helps you say, wow, I didn't know that, so it was so easy. So people can, when they try to write or spell their native names, are not aware about how important the vowels are and can misspell their name real easy. So, are there any comments or questions at this time?
Cheese Jamie, I see you're sharing some links in the chat. I did forget to show earlier, but that book is one of the free books that people can download and use from the Tlingit language website.
Yeah. And if you want to download it, you can find it on Amazon, believe it or not. So the website, as you search it, it's really something to me to hear speeches and people talking, just conversing, to hear what it sounds like to talk to each other. So, and as a person, as a speaker, being left all alone in Anchorage, I don't have anybody to talk to. But I teach the language, and I could go on and on like that. But to carry on a conversation, I run into some difficulty because I don't have anyone to converse with. And but if I am around people that speak, like I used to go to Huna and visit my friends and my family, it would come to me to how to speak and how to say certain things. So I'm glad to have you in class. Your curiosity and your determination to learn the language, and I look at it as helping me to keep my language alive, because there was a prediction that the language would become extinct in the year 2000. But that was about the time the Downhowers got the alphabet written and people began to read and write it. So we're still alive. I'm really happy to say that, because on the website, when I used to be able to see the world language website, says that a language becomes extinct every 2 weeks around the world. Every 2 weeks, a language disappears forever. So I hope that this will help us to keep going. Gunachish. Are there any other comments or questions before we sign off? I want to hear some of you say Tsuye Kwasatin.
Tsuye Kwasatin. Tsuye Kwasatin.
That's good. Yak Gunachish.
Gunachish.
Tsuye Kwasatin.
Yeah.
Yak
Tsuye Wushkachtustin.
Tsuye Kwasatin.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hello, Shirley. This is Edna.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I saw that you were teaching again, and I'm going to sign in. hopefully every Tuesday and Thursday. But in the meantime, tsuye ikwasatin.
Gonna teach.
Uh,
Glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
Suye ikwasatin. Nachtish.
Eh.
Suye ikwasatin.
Gonna teach.
Quasatin.
Yeah.
Suye
true.
ikwasatin.
Yeah. Good. Don't make it a question. Tsuye ikwasatin. Tsuye ikwasatin. So
Suye ikwasatin.
Ikwasatin.
that's good. Gonna teach.
Tuye ikwasatin. Gunastish.
Eh.
Gunastish. Suye ikwasatin.
That's very good. Gonna teach.
Gunachish Anyat Isani Tuye Ikwasatin.
Gonna teach.
Hotline Gunachish.
Those were really good. And so the thing that happens is when we're saying a phrase, say it like you're saying it to another person, say, okay, I will see you again, so that it comes out a little more natural. But the pronunciation was good, you guys. Very good. So are there
I'd
any?
like to add one extra thing, a response. So if you say this to someone, "Suye klasatin," or if they say it to you, something you could say without saying the exact same thing back, you could say "what so," and that means you too. Kind of like a lot of phrases in English, we kind of say that, like, "Oh yeah, you as well." You can actually say that in Shinget as well. What so?
Or you could do it the easy way and say, yes. Yes, I will see you again. Yeah, that's an interesting word because it's a double A and a single A added with a tone mark. Your voice goes up. That means yes.
So some of the words and phrases, I'm doing my best to include them in the chat. One of the things that anyone who has any experience typing can get, or texting it, or whichever way, the format. Sometimes you can't underline or doing the tones. I see that people are able to do that in here. I'm still learning how to do it on Zoom. Maybe that's something we'll talk about at another point. But I'll try to include things, but they're not always 100% accurate, especially with the tones. But I'm trying to learn how to do that.
Yeah, the tone marks, it's kind of interesting because Lingit language is very monotone, very monotone. So what makes it Lingit is the tone marks. So if you want to sound Lingit, pay attention to the tone marks, and we'll talk more about that.
I will just jump in real quick and say that there's a great app. It's called Chert, CHERT, and it's specifically for Southeast Indigenous languages, I believe. And it's a keyboard app, so it actually gives you extra opportunities to put the accent, the high tones, low tones, underlines, things like that. So you can either go to the Apple Store. It's a free app. It's called Chert, Chert, and it kind of has a little arrowhead logo on it. Just download that, and then when you go to your typing, you just choose that as your keyboard, and it allows you to have access to those tonalities.
Yeah, that makes it writing really easy and fast. I think the experience we had with that though, and it might be because that it was just kind of beginning, is it's really terrible to download.
It's not super duper user friendly, but it does have all of the things you need.
Yeah, I haven't had too many problems with it myself, but yeah, it might take a little bit of getting used to use it, but it's very helpful in my opinion. And it's easy. It's made writing Tlingit much easier for me personally. So just
that would be for me too. I always have to stop and hold down this key and back up.
Yeah.
I'll take another look at it. I remember people talking about it maybe 10 or so years ago, and at that time it didn't work well for me. So I haven't tried it in a while. I'll take another look at it. What I do, which kind of works, it's not very fast. I have a cheat sheet. I have like a Word document where I inserted through Word the tones, and I just go copy paste from there when needed. But then usually the sizing's wrong. So for emails and stuff, it kind of works. It's a little bit of a hassle, but I'll try the app again.
I find it.
Good.
Excuse me. I find it very easy to use. I have it on my iPad and on my phone and on my computer. And it's just easy to switch back and forth. And there's a little icon you can press, and then then you get your underlines on your X's and your K's, and the tonal marks are there also. I might have been, maybe 3 years ago that I found it in another document and found out how to use it and downloaded it on, like I said, on my iPad and my iPhone, and it's right there.
I've also tried to program hotkeys, and that was not also user friendly. I prefer Chert.
Yeah, I guess we're in the process of making them pay attention to our language to help us write our language. So that's pretty good. All of that just went right over my head because I can still type, but I can't see. So gonna cheesh.
Cheesh. Gonna cheesh.
Gonna cheesh.
Gonna cheesh.
Gonna cheesh.
Good night, cheese.
Okay.